What would Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest men, tell women over 50 to do after losing everything financially during a divorce? I was inspired to make this video because I came across a video on YouTube where it was claiming to be Warren Buffett telling people over 70 what to do to rebuild financially after they've lost everything. And I listened to it while I was on my daily walk. And it wasn't until I got back to my desk that I actually realized that it was an AI produced video. So I went on a journey of trying to find out what was it that was said in the video. Was it anything that Warren Buffett has actually said? And does this advice hold true for women over 50 rebuilding after losing everything financially in a divorce? I am Annette Rose. I'm the founder of Kids Get Money and Women Get Money, and I am a women's money coach. So, uh, I also wanted to make the note that actually around 80% of my clients who have come to me for one-to-one coaching have come to me either during or after divorce. It's always been because they've been left with little to no wealth, nothing to retire on after 15 plus years of marriage, raising kids, supporting their partner's business or their partner's career. They are afraid and exhausted. They're worried they're never going to be able to bounce back financially. They're worried they're not going to be able to retire. But despite this, what's happening is that overwhelm is leading them to avoidance. It's leading them to kind of pretend that it's not happening. And I really want to say to you that if you are a woman over 50 who is in this position, you absolutely can put your finances back together. You can get into a really strong position for retirement. You do not have to be afraid or overwhelmed. All right, so let's have a little look into what the advice was that was given by Warren Buffett on this AI video and see how that holds up for you. All right. So the first piece of advice was that he said that he would allow himself time to grieve and to feel all the feelings about losing everything and to not be in a position of blame or judgment, but to experience the feelings. So I'm going to say to you that I think that's actually pretty good advice. In this AI video, it allowed 1 day. I think you might need a little bit longer than that, but it is strong advice. You do have to go through the feelings. Okay, the second piece of advice that was given was to reduce all expenses. Now, again, this is excellent advice. So, you are probably going to find yourself in a position where, as you're rebuilding, you have to really reduce the expenses and create a gap between the money that you have coming in and the money that you have going out. Because what we want to be able to do is create a gap so that we can create savings and investments. Okay, good advice. All right. He says he would take care of his health because as you get older, and look, this video that I was watching was kind of pointed at people 60 and 70 plus, but I think this advice still really stands. Taking care of your health is really important because if you are the sole income earner now, it is down to you and you cannot afford to get sick. All right, so making more money. So how can we get more money together? Well, first up, you're probably going to need to get a 9 to 5 job. You're going to need to get some kind of secure income. That might be difficult if you've been the stay-at-home person, if you've been looking after the kids, but you can't let pride get in the way here. Again, I think this is really good advice. Whatever it is you can do to secure a stable income, could be government benefits as well. You need to do whatever you can do to do that. Over and above that, once you are back on your feet, finding something extra. So in this video, it talked about the gig economy. It talked about taking advantage of being able to be an Uber driver or a food delivery driver. Those are the types of things that we can use to actually generate more flexible income around the hours that you might have available outside a 9 to 5 or outside raising your kids or supporting your kids. So creating more income, again, is very good advice. All right, ask for support from family and friends. That doesn't have to be financial support. Again, I do agree with this. So you are going to need support. Please do not isolate yourself. A lot of women experience those feelings of shame. You feel like you've done something wrong. You are scared and overwhelmed. And your first instinct in a lot of cases is to hide yourself away and to become a hermit. That is not the way. You need the support of your friends and family. All right, at this point, I do want to say to you that I am not a financial advisor. This video is absolutely general in nature. Its purpose is to be educational and encouragement. It is not to be providing you with any kind of advice, and it cannot possibly take your personal circumstances into account. If you need help because it's urgent, I would encourage you to find the support of a free financial counselor. The other thing you can do if you do need financial advice is to seek the support of a licensed financial advisor. Here in Australia, you can find information about both of those at moneysmart.gov.au. Fantastic, free, government-provided website that can provide you with all sorts of information and support. All right, so in this next segment of the video that I was breaking down about Warren Buffett's advice for people who've lost everything, he talks about investing, and there is a big focus on this because Warren Buffett became one of the richest men in the world by investing. And he has the reputation of being one of the smartest people in investing. And one of his strongest pieces of advice is that we can absolutely all become really smart investors by investing in what's called index or tracker funds. Okay, so you don't have to go out and to start picking stocks and start trying to pretend that you're some kind of day trader. What you can do is you can find fantastic companies. There are companies like Vanguard, there are companies like InvestSmart, there are lots of different companies in Australia and globally that provide great tracker and index funds that can help you to pick an investment portfolio that matches your investing risk profile. Okay, we're not going to get into that very deeply today, but definitely thinking about how you can invest. This is how you can compound your money. This is how you can bounce back, and this is how you can truly get back on your feet. Unfortunately, saving alone isn't going to do that because you just cannot get the compounding effects that you can get in the stock market just by using savings accounts. So he talks about when you are looking at investing, to be looking at those really stable, boring funds that do well, even when things are not going great around the world globally from an economic perspective. Because what you are doing is you are looking at stocks that are in healthcare, that are like Johnson and Johnson, for example. No matter what's going on in the world, we need bandages, we need band-aids, all of those things. They talked about Procter and Gamble. So this is a company that produces things like toothpaste, detergent, nappies, all of the things that no matter what's happening in the economy are things that we can continue to invest in and to see a solid return on our investments. So I thought that was really interesting. I did also think that that was pretty solid information for anybody who is looking to get back on their feet. So keeping it stable, keeping it low risk, not taking on debt, so not lending money to buy investments, and making sure that we are staying away from grifters who are trying to sell us get rich quick schemes. It might surprise you to know that people over 60 are the people who are most often falling prey to financial scams. Okay, so don't let that be you. All right, final piece. Do not invest in anything that you haven't personally vetted, anything that you don't actually understand. It really is over to you now to do the work to get that education. Now, if you are a woman who is 45 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, who is looking for a safe place, I have established a club which is called the Women's Money Success Club. In that club, you get access to the Women's Money Success Path program, which is my 8-step program, teaching you all of the basics of everything you need to get out of fear, Get out of overwhelm and get back on your feet again so that you can rebuild your wealth and still have a fantastic, joyful, comfortable retirement.